How's it going, metalheads, and welcome back to another video. This is a series continuation. I've been doing this one for, I think this is the 5th episode now. But if you guys are aware, if you've been on the channel for a while, I listened to a lot of music last year. I also evidently missed a lot of music that came out last year. So in this series, I've been going over albums that I missed from last year that I think are really awesome because I wanted to still highlight as much music from last year as I can. It's probably the last episode just because I want to, get around to focusing on a lot of releases this year so I don't miss as many this year. But yeah, so this is 2025 albums I missed, part 5. So let's get started here. The first one is entitled Mired in the Reek of Grief by Reekmind. This is just sludgy Australian death doom, 5 tracks of cavernous, disgusting, slow-rolling death metal, and it's their debut album. For a debut album, this isn't bad at all, and I'm really curious to hear more from these guys because I really like this style of just like cavernous, slow, disgusting death doom. I really dig that style. So yeah, that's an awesome album that you should all check out. The next one is called Inexorable Entropy by Escarnium. They are a Brazilian death metal band. This is their 4th album, and it's yet another awesome release on Everlasting Spew Records. If you don't know them, I think I've done a shout out of them. I don't remember, but the drums on this album are ferocious, the guitars are dissonant and on point, and the vocals are guttural and mean. Everything I look for in death metal, and you should definitely give this one a listen because I have thoroughly enjoyed it, and I will be sure to check out their other albums because I really enjoyed this one. The next one is called Dismal Thoughts by the band Abysmal Descent. It's Belgian death metal that will just suck the hope right from your soul. The debut offering from this Belgian band, who are all about despair and misery. With a band name like that, you can only imagine the titles on this album, which range from Labyrinth of Distress to Fragmented Soul to Abyss of Despair. This is chuggy, guttural, meat and potatoes death metal that I really dug. Definitely worth a listen. And like I said, it just, kind of gives off that, dismal, dark atmosphere that I really like in my death metal. Keep rolling here. The next one is called Lord of Two Horns by Drawn and Quartered. It's the 9th album from the Seattle Underground Legends. I had actually heard of Drawn and Quartered before this, but I didn't know they put out a new album last year. This is Drawn and Quartered doing what they do best, which is killer death metal. Lots of awesome drums on this album, especially machine gun double bass. The vocals are low and ferocious, and the guitar riffs slap on this album. I really like those. This band doesn't have a whole lot of bad releases from what I've heard so far. I haven't listened to all their albums, but from what I've heard, most of it's pretty killer, and this one is no exception, so definitely check it out. The next one is called Profane Altar by Active Impalement. This is disgusting death doom from Tennessee. The tempo changes on this album are really something to behold. They do very well, going from absolutely nasty, slow passages that give way to face-melting death metal madness. Super cool stuff. Definitely going to check out more from this band. And my favorite on this album is definitely Piercing the Heavens. That's an awesome song, and it's definitely worth a listen for sure. I really like death doom, if you guys can't tell, and this band does it really well. The next one, and I might mispronounce the titles here because it's Icelandic. It's called Sundrung by Nexion. I'll put the links to all this stuff in the description as always, but I think that's how you say that. But it's Icelandic blackened death metal. It absolutely rips. There's some nice clean singing on this album too, which contrasts the brutality very nicely. Super awesome stuff. The vocalist has a really impressive range, both in his cleans and in his, gutturals. He can do really high screams and also really low gutturals. Nice guitar leads, rapid fire drums. All around fantastic album. Looking forward to more from this band because I really thoroughly enjoyed this. The next one is called Internally Enthroned by Furnace. This is Swedish death metal from one of Raga Johansson's many projects. If you don't know him, he's a death metal journeyman. He's been in a multitude of projects. Just go look at his Metal Archives page, and you'll see how many bands he's been in. But this has melodic hooks, solid vocals, and some nice chorus vocals and parts to make for a really decent album. It's one of his better projects, in my opinion, because he has a lot that are kind of just mid-tier, in my opinion. But Furnace is definitely one of his better projects, so definitely worth a listen if you like Amon Amarth and mellow death in that kind of vein. But yeah. The next one is called The Diseased Machine by Mutagenic Host. This is old school UK death metal. The old school rules, plain and simple. Double bass, tremolos, and old school style vocals for fans of like Benediction, Cancer, Monstrosity, and those kind of bands. Old school death metal will never not be cool. This kind of music will always appeal to me. There's just something about it. The bands that do it well are always worth supporting, and Mutagenic Host does it very well in this album. Just awesome old school death metal. I like the bands that keep the old school alive because that is a sound that should never go away. And this album is awesome, so definitely check it out. There's some samples in there thrown in for some nice atmosphere too. And yeah, this album just rips, so definitely check it out. Got 2 more here. The next one is called Sciomancy, Malediction, and Rites Abominable by Necromaniac. It's Blackened Death Thrash out of London. raspy vocals, blasting drums, and rapid-fire riffage. Blackened Thrash and Blackened Death Thrash are two awesome combinations of genres, and this album does it very well. Just stupid heavy and aggressive from start to finish, and I definitely dug it, so give it a listen and form your own opinions about it, but it was definitely on my list for, best Blackened Thrash and best Blackened Death Thrash for sure. And those are kind of interchangeable because at a point, the blackened part of it kind of melts together the black and the thrash, so... or the blackened part of it kind of melts together the death and the thrash, so it's kind of cool. And then the last one we have is called Loathing and the Noose by Faith Extractor, which is awesome death metal. This is the 5th album from this Ohio death metal band that formed in 2005, so that means they have been together over 20 years now, so that's something to behold for them. They're on Redefining Darkness Records, who are an awesome label, so that definitely gave me some cred with me automatically. Just ferocious drums and guitar and great guttural vocals to go with it. Everything you want out of a great death metal album, with enough flavor and melody thrown into the guitars and stuff that it doesn't get lost and it stands out from the pack. It's definitely super solid, and I'll definitely be checking out this band's other albums because I can't believe I missed this one. This is awesome. This is kind of the exact death metal sound that I like. But yeah. That is 10 more albums that I missed from last year. If you guys like the sound of any of these, definitely go check them out and form your own opinions. Give them some love because they're all awesome. And like I said, this is probably the last episode of this. But yeah, still some super cool stuff to go check out. So if you like the sound of any of these, definitely check them out. Got more videos coming soon, so stay tuned for those. And with that, I hope you're all doing well. Have a nice day. See ya.